Good afternoon. Good afternoon to all the DJs and whomever else are on this show. Typically on Thursdays. Well, today it's on Friday. I saw all the comments because obviously I just moved the date over, so I was able to see all the comments. Look, I will say this in all honesty. I appreciate all of you for sticking around, for hanging out, honestly, like legitimately, like every time I see that, I'm just like, you like me. You really like me. You know what I mean? So I thank you. Honestly. Thank you. Yeah, the yesterday was supposed to happen the way it was supposed to happen. And then, as always, hey, look, completed a 7 workout week award yesterday. I have no idea when I hit the awards or not. I'm like, does a stand count or does a stand not count? Like, there's so many little things, but I do want to thank everybody for coming out. Yesterday, I had it planned, and then life got in the way. I had to see a site visit, and the amount of calls that I had when I factored in my timeline for the day, I basically I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And then I said, and I saw this in the chat too. I said, you know what? I'll do it in the evening. I'll just do it later on. I'll do like a 4 o'clock, maybe even a 5 o'clock one, like normal stuff. Tell me why when I'm ready to do it and schedule it, my wife's like, hey, so I can't take Eva to dance. I need you to take her to dance. So some people understand this about me, but look, we are a huge dance family, have been literally for the past like 20 years. And my daughter's dance, I live in Simi Valley. My daughter's dance is in Studio City. So it's only, I think it's like 24 miles away. So for most people, they'll say, oh, that's not a big deal. Not in LA. In LA, you leave at 4 o'clock to go anywhere. You will be in traffic for 3 hours to and from, which is why normally when I take my daughter to dance, I just stay out there. I'll go to the gym. I'll do things I need to do. I can't get to my office, unfortunately, because it takes from when I drop her off. This is no lie. When I drop her off, it takes an hour and 15 minutes on average to get to my office. And it takes an hour and a half to get home. So I'm just like, there's a gym about 15 minutes away from me, my EOS gym. It used to be Gold's, now it's EOS, that I go to. And I'll just work out for an hour and a half there. And usually by the time I'm done, she's ready to go. When she's not ready to go, because sometimes, I'll drop her off at 4 and she won't even get done until 9. So yesterday was one of those where I dropped her off, and then it was actually my break day. I do 2 on, 1 off. So I work out 4 times a week. Typically, unless some stuff happens, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's my break, Thursday and Friday. And then obviously we are all working on the weekends, So that's my schedule. I was not able to go on Monday of this week. So then I said, fine, I'll just go Tuesday, Wednesday. I will break for Thursday, and then I will work out today at some point today. And tomorrow, since I am actually off. Funny thing is, my wife's not, but I'm off. So I was going to have a date night with my 13-year-old, and she's like, I'm going to the blah, blah, blah. So we'll see what happens. Either way, I will be going to the gym at some point on Saturday. I have a gig on Sunday. It's kind of a big gig, but then kind of not at the same time. Like there's some like surprise performing guests at this event. But the way the things have happened, like from when they booked us to all the production stuff they need, to trying to like remove all the production stuff. But then after we settle on a price, Then they try to add more stuff in and not try to get charged. Like, it's a lot. So I'm not even interested in this event. I mean, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna set it up. I don't have to be there for the day, which is nice. I might stop by because of the special guest, but who knows? I don't know, man. I don't know. But besides that, I hope everybody's having a good day. Hope you guys are preparing for your weekend parties. We have a couple that are going out today because we're in Arizona on one of them. Most of them are local this week. Last week, we were in Colorado for one. We were in the Bay Area for another. This week we're in Arizona. Next week, I think we're back in Arizona and the Bay Area. I think we're in Colorado in March and June. There's a lot. Anyway, so a lot of pre-production stuff, but like the reason, in all honesty, the reason that I have not finished my System 1 review, the main reason is because I don't like doing reviews when I haven't used them on events. And for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, for this reason, we've just been booking literally LED wall after LED wall. So I haven't had a chance to DJ. And this is going to sound strange, in all honesty, but for whatever reason, besides my son, who's also a DJ, all the people that work for me are like anti-rain. More importantly, they are pro Pioneer. So every time I'm like, hey, well, you know what? You can use this, test it out. Let me know what you think. They're like, I don't know, man. A lot of buttons. I'm like, dude, it's not a lot of buttons. You're just not used to it. You're used to seeing Pioneer setup. And don't get me wrong, some of Pioneer stuff has a lot of buttons too. You know, you pick up a Flex 10, there's a lot of buttons on there. Like a lot of buttons. So people see the Rain Performer and then they freak out. Oh my God, there's too many buttons. There's your 2 channels right there. And there's your stems. You don't have to touch anything else. You can bring down channels 3 and 4. You don't even have to use them. But some people just get these kind of, you know how us DJs are. We're not the best when it comes to like new things. So that's why I haven't done it. That's literally why I haven't done it. It's sitting over there. It's just sitting in the same spot that it's been in. I turn it on, I mess with it, turn it off, turn it on, and mess with it. Because in my opinion, especially with that particular board being no computer, it's not the same as, oh, well, I'll just test it in the house because I know how it's going to be. I need to test this on a live situation where I'm like, oh, hey, do you have this? Can you do this? Can you grab this? Oh, I need you to play. You know what I mean? Like I need all those variables that I would have on a party. And I haven't done that yet. I will do it. I think I'm doing a school event on Friday, but I know that my daughter also has a dance competition. I cannot win to save my life when it comes to my schedule. Cannot win to save my life. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure there is a dance comp on the 20th. And so I need to see. We don't have times yet, but I'm pretty sure there's a dance comp on the 20th. And then on the 21st, am I working on the 21st? So supposedly I'm working on the 21st. for now. For now. We'll see how that pans out. We'll probably get a wall, and then I'll be like, oh no, I have to call a client after this event, this podcast. My bad, guys. So, what I was saying was I have something on the 28th, but then we have the LED walls. So I wasn't sure that, I'm going to be DJing. I'm supposed to be DJing on the 28th. I'm DJing on 21st and the 28th. And I'm like, that's more than enough DJing for me to get a really good feel about it. I already have my general things. It's just more about, hey, I tested it out. And I knew that when Mojax came out with the pre-release, I was like, you know what? I'll do like a 1 month later type review. After, it's been in people's hands, and then it can kind of, I don't know, validate their purchases, or for people that were waiting, it can kind of get them to either decide to buy or not. But either way, I want to test it first, like really test it. So that's why I haven't done it. And like I said, every time I think I have some time, or I think I have something else, look, I am not complaining. Okay. I'm not complaining whatsoever. The jump from where we were last year, even like the half year before that, compared to where we are now in regards to like people using us for production, is night and day. It's night and day. So I'm happy about that. But production's no joke. It's a lot of work. And more importantly, getting the right people that can back you up on those events. Your roadies, parties you can't be at because you have 3 or 4 production events. Like, you gotta have the right people in place. So, because I know a lot of people, they'll say, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. Right. And they're like, yeah, I'll just go buy this LED wall. I'll just go buy this LED floor. And then, the moment I buy it, everybody will just rent it from me. And that's not reality. It's not reality. Okay. Just the sheer facts. Just because you buy something does not mean anybody wants to buy it from you. It just means you own it now. Okay. So there's marketing involved. There's finding ways to get people to actually take a look at it. It's the trust from clients, from party planners specifically, the trust that you're not going to fail them and make them look bad. Like, there's a lot of little variables built into it. So, I want people to grow. I want people to do, bigger things, but I also want people to be realistic in these things, because had it not been for the stability of my company and the quality of the work we do, not a single person would look to us for anything else. Not a single person. But because we do it, that's how we're able to sell more stuff. Now I have people left and right like, hey, I need a wall for this day. Hey, I need a wall for this day. Before, there was like 2 other companies. One, very good at the LED walls. The rest, basic at best. Okay. So then when I would see those basic at best ones on my parties, I'm just like, they could have used us. But the party planner's like, I don't know what you do. I don't know how good yours are. I don't know if you're going to be able to take care of it, or if you're going to be able to, like, all the little drama parts. But then you get them in there. maybe you give it away for free or for like half the price. You get in there, you show them that you know what you're doing. And then go from there. B-Boy Mac, I was there. I walked around that whole place looking for your space. I could not find you. There's like a number jump. It was like, okay, I'm here. I go to the next row and the numbers are completely different. I tried to come to your place. I spent like, I walked around that place a lot. So I'm sorry, but I literally, when I messaged you, I was like, hey man, what's your booth number? Literally when you replied, I'm walking around trying to find that number. And it's so funny. So for LED walls, I know like Jose is talking about it. I mean, we're always looking for roadies to help, but here's the thing. It's I know I was right there. Next time, if you see me, grab me and pull me to your booth because I could not find it. The LED wall part is compartmentalized. Okay. So what do I mean by that? I mean that like I have people that build the wall. I have people that break down the wall. I have people that set up the wall data wise. And I have people that run the content on the wall, all different people. And the most important part for me is not that you know how to run the wall. It's that you don't break my shit. You know, the walls are very, very sensitive. There's a very special way that you put the walls together. And if you do them incorrectly, that's when you start getting damage around the edges, and that's when your walls look like shit. So after we spent close to $4,000 repairing all the panels, except for one is shitty. I just found it out. I guess it was one we missed. But after we spent all that money repairing them, I'm like, I don't want to spend $4,000 to $5,000 every year. I want to spend like $1,000, $2,000 every year. Because you're going to damage stuff. You're going to have to get it repaired. And the high price for these walls requires you to like spend the money. You know, like, I mean, it's that $4,000, $5,000 when it's all said and done compared to like how many walls go out. It's a drop in the bucket. But still, that's money that could have gone into our profit. And it did not. Neither here nor there. It is what it is. So hopefully, well, next week, I'm supposed to be at MEX next week for at least a day. I think I'm so fighting going. I'm so fighting going. But if I do go, I'm going Tuesday and Wednesday. And then I will drive back on Thursday. So not sure exactly what time I will have the show. It won't be in the morning because obviously the 10:30 is literally right before you're supposed to be checking out. So that doesn't work for me. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Because I plan on leaving as early as my body will wake up and get in the car and go. So I'm hoping I'm out of there by like, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 4 hours, 4.5 hours to get home. I'll be home by like 4 or 5 on Thursday. That's the plan anyway. So we'll figure it out. Like I said, it is what it is. Okay. I have 2 videos I just need to send out. Hopefully I can do that today and tomorrow since I have some free time. I might shoot a couple more since I will have some free time. And I'll just kind of build my buffer up. I mean, I'm only going to release 1 video a week. So I'll release the one. I'll schedule the second one for the following week. And that will give me time to do the other videos because I'm failing you. I'm failing me. I don't mean that in the way like to feel sorry for me. I'm just busy, but it's still something that I enjoy doing. But like I said, I prioritized my health over everything. Not that there was anything wrong with me, but I just felt it was time. So the health part was the most important part for me to prioritize. And and it's so funny. Today, I have never been as sore in my entire body. So over the last 2 weeks, I've had to like stop working out just because my timing was so screwed up. Or I'm at home and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym. My wife's like, hey, I need you to pick up your daughter. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I'm like, okay, I didn't account for that. Or I'm gonna do it later on. I'm gonna do later on. And then you get home and then you're like, oh, can you pick up your daughter? Can you do this? Can you blah, blah, blah? I have to make dinner. It turns into a lot of stuff. So, but that is my priority in general, is my health, making sure I get to the gym, making sure, you guys know I lost my dog. So my younger dog, who's like four, somewhere around there, 4 or 5. I've been taking him out on walks and driving him around every day. So he comes with me on my walks. You know, it's like a 25, 30-minute walk. And then we do our walk. We go up the hill. We go down the hill. And then I'll tell you a story about what happened. And then like if I'm going to like the office or going to pick up something, I'll be like, hey, you want to come? And he'll just go jump in the car with me. And then we'll just go cruising. He's a really low maintenance dog. I even took him into the restaurant during the Super Bowl because I stayed home, didn't do anything with people at all, didn't have any like Super Bowl party. It was just me watching the game until my wife got home. She literally got home right for Bad Bunny. Literally got home right then and there. And that was the only reason why she was rushing to get home. It wasn't for the, mind you, boring ass game. Boring game. And now I can only just think about, if my Rams could have just pulled it out at the end, we would be Super Bowl champions. As always, next year, I guess. Anyway, so my younger dog is doing okay. I've been really like keeping his mind off of, the drama. Now he's looking forward to going on the walks. He's looking, anytime I like stand up, he's like, where are we going? Like, where are we going? Where are we going? So, yeah, so that's it. So we're good on that one. We're supposed to be going to look for another dog, another Boston Terrier. I think Monday we're going to go all the way to Buttfuck. Cause that's where all the dogs are. We're a Boston Terrier family, and you guys know you can't. No. Don't. I don't want anybody to question. I said it was a boring game. I didn't say it was a badly played game, but it was a boring ass game. That's all I'm saying. You literally went through an entire half and nothing happened. That's all I'm saying. So it didn't even begin to get started until the fourth quarter. So it's a boring game. So anyway, dogs are the best. Yes, I love my dogs, but they're a lot of work. And sometimes I question why we do it. Sometimes. I didn't see any pressure. I just saw one team that was clearly better than the other. That's all I saw. Because it wasn't as if it wasn't the Patriots like taking over defensively too. It was, they just weren't good on offense. They weren't good on offense. That was it. Anyway, I wish your dog will talk back to you. Why do you want my dog to talk back to me? I don't know that I don't think I want the dog to talk back to me. I don't think I want to know what the dog has to say. It's, why are you right clicking when I'm trying to click on this thing? Okay, that was weird. Oh, I got it because I'm on the wrong one. There you are. Okay. Yeah. There's a joke that I just saw recently, and it was a guy, and he said, I was offered $10 million or no money and be able to understand what my dog was thinking and saying. And then literally the dog was just sounded like he had Down syndrome. That's probably the reality of it. And so we had two dogs, right? We've always had two dogs. And I mean, we'll get to like, I don't want to talk about the dogs. We talked about the dogs last week, but BJ was literally like the smartest dog I've ever known. And he was like a diva. Bonsai, however, bless his heart. Bless his heart. He's a sweet dog, but that dog is dumb. That dog is dumb. And now, like, he's like an airhead. He's like an airhead dog. He's like that kind of dog. It is what it is. But I'm teaching him. I'm really working with him, and he's getting better. Like I said, I love defense. I played football. That's not what I'm saying, people. That's not what I'm saying. I love defense, but I also love scoring too, because look, when it's all said and done, we're not there anymore. We're not there where it's just, ooh, I love to just watch defense and it's like 3-3. No, nobody wants to see that, especially in the Super Bowl. Now, if it's your team and you're like, oh, I'm keeping it close. So yeah, this is great. This is great. Fair enough. But the majority of people want to see scoring. Nobody wants to see a 6-3 game. You get it? Like, it's just, we're not there anymore. We don't even have the real guys doing NFL football. Now we have, what's his name? And I think he's doing a really good job too, but it's not the same as was it Steve Sable? Was he the one that used to do all the stuff? I know he produced it, but I don't think he was the one that was talking. Anyway, if you know that, let me know. Exactly. They only think of one thing. You're going to give me a snack? You going to come lay down with me? Here, we're going to go for a walk? We get in the car? That's it. And it just repeats over. Is somebody at the door? And it's just over and over again. Somebody outside? Over and over again. All right. So, he's not the type to invite the intruder in. Although, now I'm realizing as I've been coming in the house lately, because they used to totally bark and then run to the door. It was BJ. It wasn't this one. This one, I've literally been almost like up on him. He's like, ruff, ruff, ruff. I'm like, bro, you're already dead. I have already killed you. I killed you. I killed my wife. Thanks for the warning. All right. So, let's see. I know a lot of people, this is going to be a smaller viewer day because that's just the way it works when people aren't prepared or expecting me to be on a Friday, so I get it. So a lot of the things that I might talk about are things that like I know people are going to watch this on replay later on. One thing, somebody asked about my chain last week. They asked about the chain and they asked how big it was. Pause. This is a 22 inches. 22 inches. I can't remember the gauge. I can't remember the gauge. I don't know. How would you find that out? I can probably go to like an Amazon. This one is made by, I don't know, who makes this one? Sorry. These are my long throws. Jackson. So these are made by Jackson. And it's what I loved about it. It's very, very secure. Like I don't get this worry that it's gonna like fall off. But I do like the thickness of this chain. It's good. But I don't know. Jackson. I'll tell that person. Chains. There we go. Jewelry for men. Okay. Here we go. So let's see. Bestsellers. I love when an ad pops up and you can't get out of it. Okay. I think it's yeah, I think it's a 22 and I think it's a 12 millimeter. I think it's a 12 millimeter. That feels about right. Let me just get some other examples real quick. Some of these things are too big. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 12 millimeter. That seems about right. Yeah. Anyway, uh yeah, so that's a chain. I'm not really a my grandma gave me this chain. I'm not really a chain person. For the longest time I only wore my chai, which is a Jewish symbol and a smaller chain. And then my wife got my son a chain like this, but she got him in the 20. And I was like, and I picked it up and I was like, what is this? I kind of like it was over Hanukkah. I'm like, I kind of like this. And look, when it's all said and done, her money is my money. She's not spending her money to give me a gift. I'm basically buying this gift. So my money is her money and her money is her money. If that makes any sense to you. Like legitimately, I pay for everything. It's to be, I don't have a problem with that. Like that's my job as a provider. But my wife has some really high maintenance needs. So I was like, look, she had the opportunity to watch one of her friends' kids. Her kid has autism. So she had an opportunity to like do this. She's like, yeah, I'll pay you, blah, blah, blah. You just come, you work 3 days a week. And so she does that to Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Absolutely a Libra. She's absolutely a Libra. And then when she wants to, she can work out one of our photo booths because 3 or 4 go out every single week. So she does that. And I told her, I said, look, I don't want your money. You do whatever you want with your money. Get your hair done, get your nails done, blah, blah, blah. All the other stuff I will take care of. Just the stuff that you want to do for yourself, use your money. And then I will be happy as long as I'm not thinking about, oh, hey, I need to get my hair done and it costs $300. I'm just like, I don't want to think about that. CT is not rich. CT is not rich. CT works his ass off to provide for said family. But not rich. I mean, look, I guess rich has always been a relative term to me because like I know rich people. Like I know rich people. Like, trust me. I mean, you guys know this isn't a flex. This is just reality. And those people got money. We are like, we in our circle of rich friends, we're the broke ones. Like we don't have that kind of money. Like they got rich money. Like, hey, you guys want to go to a movie next week? Sorry, I'm going to like Uruguay for 3 days. There's no such thing as middle class anymore. That's the problem. There's no middle class. So, I'm doing fine. And, and I would laugh. I'm like, if my daughter wasn't in dance, I'd be doing so much better. But the amount of money that goes out for dance on a monthly basis is so dumb. So dumb. So, and I grew up poor. Now, not poor. I wasn't in the slums. Like that was the one thing that like my parents wanted to break the cycle of. because they all grew up, in the projects, Tennessee, LA, whatnot. So they didn't want that for their family, obviously. So when my parents, we actually moved to Simi when I was 8 years old. I was started out in the San Fernando Valley, was born in Culver City, then started out in San Fernando Valley, grew up there, Canoga Park. And then we moved to Simi when I was about 8 years old. And, but having said that, my parents made just enough too, just enough, but they never were able to like get me things that like I wanted, I hoped for. Like I don't remember a time past like, 5 or 6 where you're like, you open up like a Christmas present and you're like, oh my God, like this is what I want. Like, I don't remember that. Okay. And no, I don't hold any family responsible for it. Okay. You do what you got to do as a parent right now. I completely understand. You do what you got to do. You get them fed, you get them in a house and make them feel protected. And, like those are the basics. But like vacations, trips, like we never did any of that. Never any of that. Like, as a matter of fact, it was a running joke in my family. My dad was like, hey, when you get old enough, he bought like a Suburban. He was like, yeah, this is for when we go to the snow and we're going to do all this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sweet. He never once took us to the snow. Not one time. But I went to the snow when I was about 14 maybe. My white friends would go snowboarding. And so they would take me and I learned how to snowboard. And by the time I was 16, I had bought my own car. I would go up to the snow every weekend with friends. We'd share back and forth. And, yeah, I did that for myself when I wanted a new bike, like a 12-speed bike, because I was into cycling and all the stuff. They couldn't do it. And I know Steve is mentioning layaway. I put my bike, it was a Bianchi, and it was a beautiful bike. Bianchi, Shimano, components. I couldn't afford Campanolo. I didn't have that kind of money. Couldn't afford Campanolo. So I went with Shimano, and, it was on layaway, and I just kept putting money in every single month. It took me, I think, like 5 or 6 months, and I finally got it. I still remember the guy. It was a bicycle shop in Simi. It's no longer around. But he was like, I remember I had the last money. I was like, here you go. And he was just like, and mind you, nobody ever came in. Like, my parents never came in. Like, it was just me going in by myself. And he was just like, I'm so proud of you, And so I got my bike, loved that bike. It was like a mint green with white grips. It was a beautiful bike. Loved it. That bike got stolen, probably a year and a half in. Somebody stole my fucking bike. I still won't forget that. Won't forget that for the rest of my life. Anyway, I ended up buying another bike and all that stuff. But my point is, nobody's ever given me anything. Like, legitimately, I've made or earned every single thing that I've ever accomplished in my life. Nobody has ever. As a matter of fact, in general, most people told me not to do the things that I have done and been successful at. Most people, I can remember every single time that like I was doing something new. Every single time. And people would say, it's not a good idea. You don't want to do that. You grew dreads. Oh, you don't want to grow dreads. You're not going to get a job. I got a job. Oh, but you're not going to get promoted. I was the manager of the store. Oh, but if you do this, you're not going to do it. And I got another job. And then I was like, every single time somebody told me I couldn't do something, not only did I do it, but I did it much better than most people out there. And I succeeded. The music thing. Oh, don't do the music thing. It's not worth it. And, you got to put your stuff in like this this day in and day out job that's never going to pay you more, but you got to be loyal to that every single time. Started this company. I don't know, man. It could fail. Yeah, it could fail. Could also do real well too. So I stopped listening to people a long time ago. Long time ago. YouTube. Oh, don't do YouTube. Oh, you better do this if you're going to do this, and you better do this, and you better do this. I'm just going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I feel that I need to do. This isn't again, it's not a flex, but like my intuition in general is pretty damn good. You know, people are like, oh, why did you wait? Why'd you say no? Why'd you do this? Wasn't right time. What do you mean it wasn't right time? You might not get this opportunity. It doesn't matter if I get the opportunity again. It doesn't feel like the right time. And typically, the majority of time when I do decide to do something, yeah, even you could make the argument that, oh, well, if I had started this earlier, that I would have this. But that's not a given. It's not a given at all. You have no idea. You might have started it earlier and it wasn't your time and then you failed miserably. But I started everything that I'd done. I've started the time it was supposed to be started. That's all I can say. You know, when I started my company, DJ company, people were like, yeah, you're not going to be able to compete with these other companies and blah, blah, blah. Well, now we're like the top DJ company and we've been going strong for 18 years and we're actually stronger now than we were before. So had I listened to those people, I'd still be working a day job. I'd still be working at some, dead end job that had no path for any growth. I'd still be doing all of these things. Would I have felt any different? No, I'd be like, okay, this is my lot in life. But you got to know when things aren't going to do more for you and then cut it. You know, you're in a relationship that has no future, cut it. You're in a job that has no future, cut it. Don't cut it, the job, not the girl. Don't cut your job until you have something else. But the girl, obviously that's just morally wrong. But a business don't care about you. A business does not care about you. Not one business. Ultimately, a business's sole job is to be profitable. That's it. Now, if they can help you along the way, great. But that's not what a business is. So if you're working for somebody, realize they like you. They don't care about you. And even the care that they think they have, it's all just guilt. It's not real. I worked for a company for 15 years. And when it was time, because I was building this company, and I'm building this company, and I knew at a certain point, I'm like, I can't do both. I can't do both at the same time. I knew that. But when they were like, I don't know, I just feel like, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna give you a severance. We're gonna do all this. I just feel so bad about this. I feel so bad. Oh my God. I hope you'll be okay. I hope you'll do this. Oh, give me a hug. Oh, all right. Not one person. And so we've been in business for 10 years. I worked for that company, the 8 of the 15 while doing this. Not one person has contacted me. Not one person has checked in on me that supposedly cared. Does that sound like care to you? So I don't do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Especially in 2026, these companies do not care about you whatsoever. They will drop you to show profit on their ledger in a heartbeat. They do not care. Okay. So what are we talking about here? I see people asking questions about what DJ related stuff. Like, who do you think I am? Who do you think I am? A DJ YouTube channel? All right, let's see. eSwift says, CT, do you still have your SRX 815s? Yes. If so, would you still recommend them? Yes. They're going for about 1100. They're still some of the best speakers that I've ever used. They're heavy as hell, but they're some of the best sounding speakers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see here. Shuffle couple. I have a 1-year-old, and because of your show, I'm doing my best to steer clear of daughter and dance financial nightmares. Look, I mean, it's in. If your daughter loves to dance, don't take that away from her. And the one thing I will say, out of both of them, like my son was a natural, my daughter has a passion. And I think they're two different things, and both can coexist at the same time. My son was in dance because you're too talented not to dance. Like you excel in everything you do, so you're going to dance. My daughter just loves dance. She loves movement. So I can't take that away from her either. You know, I've tried to get her to do other things. She only wants to dance. She loves dancing. She loves singing. That's her thing. So I will remain broke until she gets out of high school or more in college. Okay. Let's see. I never went on vacation until I was 25. Grew up with a single mom of 2, and my sister had a child. Oh, geez. That's a lot. That's a lot, man. Going to Michigan. All right. Sheriff Vlogs. Sheriff Vlogs. That's very, it's a lot. I noticed at NAMM, there seems to be a lot of less cool innovation compared to something like CES, where there's a lot of integration into hardware and robots. Is it because most investors are spending? That's a rabbit hole that you just asked. In all honesty, in my opinion, it's a rabbit hole, and it's a rabbit hole for one reason. Okay. So you have NAMM, and then you have CES, which technically talk to two different groups of people. All right. You got NAMM, which has and always will be a market for retailers. It's for manufacturers to show off their wares, and retailers come in, look at it, go, that's going to sell well. I'd like 10,000 of these. I'd like 30,000 of these. And they still do, but they used to have like boxes right next to their booths. And then they would take in, head of Guitar Center, head of so-and-so. And then they would go in there and they'd write it out and, get their money. That's what NAMM has always been and is supposed to be. Okay. CES is like Willy Wonka. It's like all of your pipe dreams, all the things you've ever wanted to make and imagine, they end up at CES. Now, a lot of those things at CES never come to market. All right. NAMM stuff, all that NAMM stuff comes to market. Guaranteed. So CES is for all the dreamers. It's like when you go to car shows and then Honda will unveil its like super duper futuristic car. You're like, that's beautiful. Is it ever going to come to market? No, we just wanted to show you our concept. So CES is a different type of thing, and CES specifically, I truly believe is where most of the investors put their money, anybody do, I have a Kickstarter, I have this, it's going to end up at CES. That doesn't mean it's going to actually ever come to market or sell well. It just means that this is a cool little thing. And then it'll show up at CES and then it'll go nowhere. And then 6 years later, somebody else will finally find the actual meat of whatever they were trying to do. And then it'll go viral. So yes, get some Exotons. Why? Just because they're cheap? Tell the truth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen a lot of people talk about it. I didn't have a plan on on reviewing them. I have a friend that did buy them. And I asked him, I said, look, if you can just bring them over, one of these times just so I can take a listen to them. But I had no urge to buy them. And I just feel like we get to a point where everybody, okay. It feels like in 2026 and 2025, it feels like everybody's anti-cost or anti-retail, I guess, is more important. Everybody wants to find the product of the century. Oh, look at this. Look how cheap it is and look how good it sounds. And then people, buy the product and they're like, I mean, but yeah, it sounds pretty good for this price. I don't want to operate like that in my business. I don't want to, it sounds pretty good for the price. It sounds pretty good. Period. So I don't have an opinion about Exoton because I haven't heard it in real life. Okay. Based upon the cost, especially with speakers, most of the time you do get what you pay for. That's all I will say. Speakers specifically, you get what you pay for. So I will take a listen to them. It'll be interesting, but I question a lot of things that have nothing to do with the cost of the speaker, but like the pieces that they're using, the build quality, the just the quality. How long is it going to last you? And when something does happen, how easy is it to get them repaired, to get things fixed, to get things replaced? Like, that's why you spend the money on certain things. But I'm not telling anybody not to buy them. And if you like them, great. But I have not heard them, so I don't have an opinion. But just based specifically on the money, I can't believe that they will be so good that I would tell people, what are you talking about? Don't buy those RCFs. don't buy those. Don't buy those QSCs. Don't buy those EVs. Why buy those when you can get these for $500? I don't believe I'm going to say that. And specifically, just like somebody asked last week about the RCF speakers, since I was at NAMM, I recorded the RCF presentation also. People are like, what do you think of the RCFs? And I will say this, the J11 specifically, I personally was not impressed. I wasn't impressed with the J11s. The upper ones definitely sounded better. And then the point source sounded so much better that it made the column arrays just seem basic. And I have a severe problem. Of anybody that tells me in a presentation, you sound pretty good. But what if you want a little more bass? And I'm thinking, no, not a little more bass. I just want the bass. And then they go, well, you can pair it with this 15. You can pair it with this 18. And I'm thinking, well, if I got to pair it with that speaker, then why do I want that speaker? I don't know. I get it. Some people are like, well, you can build on. And yes, I do that to an extent. But at a certain point, I'm like, if I got to bring 2 point source subs, I might as well bring point source highs. Like, it just seems bad. The whole point of a column array, the whole point is compromise. Always has been compromise. That's the whole point of a column array. This is lighter. It's smaller, better form factor. Doesn't sound as good, but it's good enough. That's a column array. So I know that there is a level where that column array stops being good enough, and then I have to go to point source. I know this. And if you're dropping 12-inch column arrays in general, there's a line that stops, and then you should just move to another speaker. That's my opinion. That is not anything. I mean, all I have is my opinion, but that's just the way I feel about it. Always have. Always have. So the RCF 12s sounds like every other RCF 12 column array. Sounds like every other speaker. Not better, not worse. Sounds like every other speaker. QSC, EV50s, LDs, they're all the same. They're all the same. So, and when you really when you compare them, it's just subtleties. It's subtle nuances that are maybe a little better on this one, a little worse on this one. But in general, they're all the same. They're all the same. So get the one you like, get the one you feel looks good. If you're down for a 12-inch column array, you're not gonna do wrong on any of them. But if you're expecting that 12-inch column array to sound like a 15 or an 18, it's not gonna happen. And then if you're bringing in an 18-inch sub to go along with your 12-inch column array, I just don't see how. I just don't see how that's improving your situation. Now, if you started with column arrays and then you bought a sub, okay, fine. I'll give you that. I will give you that because I don't want you to spend more money than you need to. But if you're just out there, like I got a whole bunch of point source and I got this column array, okay, great. Well, that's all right. I'll just bring 4 subs to go along with my column array. It just, okay. Enough about that. All right. Has there been any updates about the Hercules T10? No, there won't be any updates. That's not coming out until the end of the year. So you can just put a pause on it. It's not coming out to the end of the year. They've already said that a couple of times. So don't even worry about it right now. Have you ever used the Numark scratch mixer? Yes. If so, how did you feel about it? Sorry if you have already reviewed it. It's old now. I mean, it's fine. It was a good mixer when it came out. That's it. Great fader, good mixer. That's it. All right, let's see. And guys, feel free to ask questions. I feel like there's not enough questions in here. I answered that one. Have no idea if I'm going to review it or not. Oh, while I'm waiting on additional questions. I did finally get a chance to see and hear the Bass Boss column array. First off, number one thing, when I tell you it's the biggest column array, and in some cases, like the biggest speakers I've ever seen for somebody that wants you to take these out on a weekly basis. It's humongous. It is humongous. I cannot get over how big those speakers are. They had no intention of making those for regular people. No intention. That thing is not a column array. That is a prettied up point source. It is humongous. And it looks like a damn monolith. Like from 2001. It's humongous. What SSD would you recommend to install in System 1? Any of them. I don't have an opinion on that. In all honesty, any of them will work. Find one that is name brand and cheap, because you know all this stuff is getting real expensive nowadays. But like, I think I found a 1 terabyte for somewhere around like $200, maybe even $100. But you know, 1 to 2 terabyte solid state, you're good. You're good. But I don't have an opinion on it, in all honesty. I like Evolve 70s, but I'm going to go for the Evolve 90s because I need to get what I want so I don't have any buyer's remorse. I get that. I get that. Every time I use the 90s, I'm like, these are really good. Don't get me wrong. They have limits to them. There's limits. And especially if the DJ doesn't understand gain structure, because I have a couple of DJs that are just like red line, red line, red line. And anytime I work walls, I run everything through my mixer. That way I can control everything and it just makes it easier. And even with me controlling it, limit, because they're redlining. They don't need to be redlining, but they are. So I think more importantly, we need to talk about gain structure. But however, every time I go back to the 70s, I'm like, yeah, these are good. They're not as good as the 90s, but they're not supposed to be as good as the 90s. But I still use the 70s. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of weird. Like, they sound really good, but the 90s sound so good that it's hard to use the 70s knowing how good the 90s sound. That's all I'll say. That's all I will say. All right. Not available mid-May. That's funny. Professional audio products does not matter to the masses, Sheriff Vlogs. I am and have always been very realistic about the niche market we're in. In all honesty, like, they don't care about this. They care about what they can sell to a whole bunch of people at the same time. You know what would be really great? An AI powered Roomba, you know, a new robot, a little robot toy friend that can talk to you. You know, they're going to go where the money is. And right now, all the money is in the AI bubble, and it is a bubble, and it is going to pop. There's a future in AI, but not in the way that they believe there's a future in AI, and it's going to crash. And, you know, I mean, literally, what do they call that? It's the snake eating its tail. I don't know if you guys have really researched AI and what has been going on. So I'll break it down for you just a little bit. Because I'm also a gamer. Okay, we're talking about SSDs. I'm a gamer. Like, I have Steam Deck. I've been waiting on the new Steam. What is it? Like, looks like the Steam Cube. It's not what it's called. No, I think it's called. I don't know. Anyway, it's the Steam Box. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, it's supposed to be coming out. It's supposed to be coming out like in January or February, and they can't release it because shit is too expensive. RAM is dumb expensive right now. And the reason why RAM and memory chips are expensive is because AI is using all of them. Now, we had something like this a couple of years ago with all the Bitcoin and data miners. They were using graphics cards to mine for Bitcoin. Don't ask me exactly how it works. I don't know, because I've never even been in it, because I saw the writing on the wall immediately. I'm like, that's not sustainable. And look where it is right now. Anyway, somebody's going to tell me this is when you buy. This is when you buy now. I'm good. I'm good. So back to today, all of these graphics cards are being used by AI companies. And, you know, there's more than one AI company. It's not just like it's ChatGPT, you know, and OpenAI. There's like a ton of AI companies, and they all require ridiculous amounts of power and ridiculous amounts of cooling for their servers. This is how bad it is right now. Okay. This is how you know the AI is going to burst. AI is not making any money, but they keep getting investments from all these major companies. So, you know, Microsoft and even Apple and Google, NVIDIA invested. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. Okay. NVIDIA invested something like $80 billion into like OpenAI. And you ask yourself, now, why would you do that? That doesn't seem like a good use of your money for investments. Okay. $80 billion. NVIDIA has already said they're basically stopping production on consumer graphics cards and consumer memory chips because it's all going to AI. So essentially, they're giving all these companies money. They're investing in these companies. You're like, wow, that's really impressive. They're getting it back. They're getting it back. They're selling to themselves. They're selling to themselves. They get to write off this investment and then they sell it to themselves and make all the profit back. The whole thing is a circle jerk. It's not sustainable. And when it crashes, oh my God, we're in a world of hurt. Okay. I guess this is vent day. This must be vent day. Yeah, we talked about that. It's very, very cool. Yeah, I got the schematics. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and put it together. Chevy DJ does not care. So Chevy DJ is doing what it feels is the only way to earn money. You know why? Because you people, I say you people knowing that I'm a little bit a part of this. Because you people decided that all the Asian companies, specifically Both Lighting, are the most important lighting company to spend your money in. And not spend on Chevy. Wait for both, or wait for another company to come out with a variation of their light and not spend money. So they've spent money on R&D, on patents, on whatever. And then you guys go, that's cool. When are you going to make it, Both? When are you going to make it, B-Topper? Serato always updates. That's not a special thing. Unless you tell me that they updated and now they can do dual streaming. Because if they didn't, it don't matter to me. There's so many out there, Abel. There's so many out there. They're all copycatting. But meanwhile, the majority of companies are going to go out of business. And when they do, you guys will all be regretting that you never spent money on some of these major companies. When all of a sudden, all of your lighting and all of your speakers have LED strips on them and helicopter bullshit that people are trying to do. And I see that shit and I'm like, bro, are we going back to 1995? This is some ghetto shit right now. It will be coming. There is no status of Serato. It'll be released when it gets released. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to be short with you, Eric, but the reality is it's going to come when it's going to come. So get used to just enjoy Engine while it's there. I mean, look, I will say this, okay? Engine is really good on the hardware, okay? But there are some roadblocks. The engine desktop, I don't love it. But once you get your stuff in there, you're typically fine. The streaming, all that stuff is damn near perfect in there. From a hardware perspective, it's one of the best made controllers that I've seen and touched and used. And it's going to be a very popular controller, in my opinion. Who knows if it sells, okay? But like, if I were a Serato person or a DJ person or virtual DJ person, I would absolutely pick up one of these to go along with my computer because it's still one of the best pieces of hardware out there. The information that it's going to provide you just from within the decks is better than majority of what's out there. So I think it's still going to sell regardless of it being, an engine only piece of hardware that's going to get this stuff. But I'm going to tell you this. I think a lot of people, once they start using Engine, like really get into Engine. I just talked about that, James, about column arrays. Literally just talked about it. You just got to go back like 30 minutes. I think a lot of people who are using Serato, who are using DJ or using virtual DJ are going to start dabbling in it and they're going to go, this ain't so bad. I don't really need my computer. It might be sitting there, but a lot of people, they're going to be just fine using Engine. Now, the one thing that Engine needs, and I think it would change everybody's perception. Everybody's perception. The one thing that Engine needs is to go one library. Because they're not one library right now. And I think that is a hindrance to people actually investing in Engine on the hardware, I should say. I think it's a hindrance more than it is like, this isn't a good thing for them. They have to go to one library. Because if I know that I use DJ or I use Serato, and even Serato needs to come out with their export, that's neither here nor there. Like you can pick one or the other. Do you want Engine? Do you want Serato to work on System 1, or do you want one library? Like it feels like you can't have both right now. It's one or the other. But if they can go one library and I can just export my drive, Serato or DJ or virtual DJ to it and just pop in my thumb drive, it's going to be valuable. I was about to get a hard drive for the System 1. But in all honesty, it's interesting because the one thing you can't do, it's going to be harder to update if it's sitting in a hard drive, in my opinion. I mean, I don't recall there being like a USB to your computer connection. I think you have to take the hard drive out to update it. I could be wrong. I literally could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that you have to take the hard drive out to update it. And I don't want to have to be going through and flipping my hardware over every week to update it. So I would go SD card or thumb drive any day of the week. Probably more SD card is for me anyway. Is the M4 Pro or M4 Max good for DJing? Any M is good for DJing, DJ Ken. Hey, look, there's my dog barking. My dog doesn't bark. There's somebody at my door. Probably my family. It's 2:34. Let me make sure that my wife's like, can you pick up your daughter? Let me make sure. Anyway, so hold on. I'm sorry. Let me just answer this guy really quick. Then tomorrow. Hold on. Let me just do this real quick. Sorry. Anytime you work with Paris locally, you will usually use his van. Okay. Sorry. All right. You don't. No, you don't. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Two things. So you're right. You're right. Here's my problem. Okay. This is my big problem. What if my laptop, what if my hardware, the System 1, is sitting in a piece of furniture and it's put away in my garage or in my warehouse? That means I have to like open it up every week, plug it in, sync it up, close it back up again, because I'm not going to do it on the day of the party. Close it up, and then it's a lot more work. It's a lot more work for me. But I always have a thumb drive on me. I always have an SD card on me. That's my issue. I knew it was something like that, but I'm like, yeah, I don't want to plug into my hardware all the time. Could you imagine, like, think about this for a minute. Could you imagine if like your CDJs, like, oh, you're at the club at the CDJs, but before you come, you have to come on Friday so you can sync up all of your music to the CDJs and then you can use it. Like that's how it feels to me. Like I want to be able to access and make changes all the time. All the time. You know? Like what if I sync up and everything's fine and then last minute the client's like, oh, by the way, here's 10 more songs. Like if I'm just sitting at home, I can do it. I think that's an update coming. That's an update coming. I'm pretty sure. Because they still don't have real-time stems, period, on the system. So I hardly believe that Tidal is gonna stem if you can't stem your local files. So I'm gonna say the answer is no. Wrong with an exclamation point. Are way more innovative and forward thinking in the lighting area, which is quicker to market, turnaround, and lower costs. I don't agree. I don't agree, Biggie Smalls. Now, I'm not saying that they don't come out with some stuff that's real cool. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, though, that in general, the stuff that I see come out from China is butt until they take references from the other companies. And it's not just America. There's British lighting companies. There's American lighting companies. They exist everywhere. And they all of them used to make all the lighting for these companies. That's all I'm saying. But I don't agree that they're just miles ahead. I mean, yes, anybody can make a dumbass helicopter light and be like, look, nobody else is doing this. You're right. Nobody else is doing that. And there's a reason for it. Who came out with the LED lighting speakers? That was China. That was shit. That was some ghetto ass stuff. Let's be real about this. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. I've been going to NAMM for a long time. There used to be a straight space just for the Chinese manufacturers. The speaker companies, the lighting companies, it used to be in the dome, right? Now, RCF rents out the dome. It's like their whole thing. But it used to be you'd walk in there and you'd see all the bottom of the barrel basement companies. And they'd be in there trying to sell you some stuff. And none of it was good. None of it was good. So I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. I'm going to agree to a point because that's like saying we know these Chinese electric cars are amazing, but we can't get them here. We can't get them here, you know? So yes, I agree with you to a certain respect, but there's a lot of shitty ass stuff out there, man. A lot. But it's so good to have a large capacity option. We talked about this last week. How many files do you need? How big of a drive do you need? Then you're not really using your Dropbox folder to update because now you're streaming. So there's still the problem. If you want your local files to be up to date, it's going to be slightly harder with the hard drive than it will be with the USB. You know, and solid state USBs are pretty damn fast. You know, the SanDisk record box one, pretty damn good. You know, so you're still going to have to deal with that one little part. I don't know. Maybe I outthink things, and I know that a lot of people, you know, they get their gear and they bring it home, and after the party they take it out, they put it on a table. You know, that could be the norm. And if that's the norm for you, then yes, absolutely. It's easy to update the drive. But if you're like me and I got, you know, multiple pieces of hardware going out every week, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about, oh, by the way, let's just say, for instance, let's say that I'm controlling is all hell. Okay. And then I say, I'm going to buy 10 Rain System 1s. I'm going to put hard drives on them, and then I'm going to clone them. Okay. Everybody's going to use my computers. I mean, my hardware, because I know all the music's in there. I know it's all clean. I don't have to worry about anything. Okay. So let's say we do that. I don't I got to update every one of them by hand. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I love the hardware. When it was in like the engine, the little portable one, when it was in that one, that's easy. That's small. You can just take it whatever. Oh, and also the one little thing that the caveat to all of this is one caveat. Let's say I'm using the System 1, right? And then something happens bad. Somebody spills something on it, it breaks, right? And I'm like, oh, now I can't use the hardware. So I go and grab my little Denon Prime Go. Okay? If I'm using a thumb drive, if I'm using an SD card, I can just pop it in there and keep it moving. But I can't necessarily do that with the hard drive. That's all I'm saying. Not without taking some time to do so. And let's say that your hardware is in your furniture. That sounds like a nightmare. Sounds like a nightmare. And mine's going in my furniture. So I will keep the SD cards, a very fast SD card or a very fast thumb drive. That's what I'm using. For me, you do you though. 2 terabyte is comfortable SSD for about 5,000 to 6,000 songs with stems on engine. If you can't get through a party with 5,000 to 6,000 songs, I'm questioning you, not the hardware, not the card. I've noticed that many DJs from house music and melodic techno genres often have a crowd that isn't very lively. This doesn't happen with bass music. They're not dead. They're not dead. They're fucking high. They're high. They're on E. It's a different energy. It's a different vibe altogether. That's what they want. I just want to be one with the music. I see colors. Just different. It's just different. Agreed. I don't think they check with real life DJs. I don't think so. They're just like, this would be cool. I mean, perfect example is, and I really do like them a lot. JMAS. JMAS is a perfect example, okay, of a company that decided to do something different. Okay. So, here's the problem with JMAS, and I love JMAS. Their colors, they use very pastel-like colors and a lot of their fixtures. So, like the VersaFlex, great light, a little too complicated, but a great light, very powerful. But the colors are all just non-standard colors. So for a lot of people, they're going to be like, I like it, but I don't like the colors. Or they go, these colors are really cool when you're looking at them at a convention, and then you get them on a party, you're like, wow, they're kind of clashing, So it's just one of those things you have to be prepared for anytime this happens. Now, my family should be home by now. Let's see where my family is. They were supposed to be going to El Segundo to see their friends dance. Okay, looks like my wife is going to pick her up right now. I think. Or she'll be calling me going, can you pick her up? I can't get there. And then I'll be like, all right, guys, it's been great. Even though my daughter literally lives less than a mile away from my home. It would take her 7 minutes to walk home. But my wife's like, she'll get killed. She'll get killed. Like she's 13, going on 14. She can't walk across the street. Maybe she deserves to die. just natural selection. Don't tell my wife I said that. Okay, Don Rothfuss says, I think this is, do you prefer DJ equipment to be installed into the furniture, Danny Mac Spun Gear, or where you have to set it up like the Humter style setups? Curious to hear your thoughts. I do both for a couple of reasons. One, I don't always believe that furniture works in every environment. Yes, it can work in every environment, but sometimes I feel like I'm wearing a tuxedo to like, you know, a mud run. you know what I mean? Like I'm way overdressed for this. So a lot of times I'll bring like a Pro X booth, you know, and another piece of gear. Like my gear stays in my thing. I don't take it out. So for instance, right now I have a Rane Performer in my gear. I have the Rane 1 MK2 in a bag, and then my Rev 7 is literally right over here. Okay. What's going to end up happening is I'm going to take out my Performer, likely send it back, to be honest with you. Not because it's not because it's bad, but because like if I'm using the System 1, I won't have a need for the Performer, even though it's really cool. And my guys, like I said, they're like addicted to the Performer. For a lot of people feels like a lot, and they just can't get over that. They can't get over that. So I'll probably send it back. Cause I don't personally have a need for it. Whatever the best one is to me, that's the one I want to use. And right now I would say it's going to be a while before I move from the System 1, especially when they bring in the Serato and DJ in Virtual DJ. It's going to be a while because it hits everything that I've wanted a controller to do. Everything. I want to be able to use my computer. Done. I want to be able to switch over between a computer and an SD card done. I want to be able to have a backup just in case my computer fails. Done. I only want 2 channels. Done. Want it to sound good. Done. I want the fader to be good. Done. This is their best fader since probably the Rane 62. I think the Rane 62 was their best of that generation. And then once they started moving up and all their controllers, I never loved their faders. But this fader on the System 1, whatever modifications they made, it's a very good fader. And of course, it'll never be as clicky as like Pioneer. That's just their style, you know? And Pioneer has, in my opinion, the best stock fader on the planet, and their Magvel is amazing. They just make good faders. They do. I mean, yeah, I do that anyway, but that's really irrelevant to what I'm saying. You know, I mean, it's not complicated to just pop out one card and pop it into the other. I don't need 5 copies of the same stuff. You know what I mean? So for me, the whole point of it, the value of it is like if I'm DJing with CDJs and I'm on tour somewhere or traveling, that literally I need one USB, and I'm working in anywhere I want to go. Like that's the whole point of it. That's the point of an all-in-one. That's the point of having this ecosystem of being in Engine, being in Denon, being in Rane, is I don't have to think about that. I just pop it out, pop it back in. Literally up until the System 1, I've had the same SD card in every single product I've tested for Engine. Newmark, Rane, Denon, all of them. I just pop it out, pop it back in. Like that's convenient. That is super convenient. You know, just like the CDJs. So that's why I'm saying like, having that export to one library is such a game changer. Now I can use my stuff anywhere. I can export. I guess I don't have it here. I can export to my SanDisk Rekordbox thumb drive one time, and let's say everybody was using one library, including the Rain System 1, one time, then I can just DJ off my computer. I can grab my iPad. I can plug in that same USB into my iPad, and technically I can DJ off of my USB from my iPad. Don't put a single song on my computer. I can pop that out. If you know, they did it, and I go into the System 1, pop it in, just start DJing. Like, that is the world that I want to live in. Where the hell is Pa? Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. So I'm looking at my phone. You know how, like, when your phone calls on your iPhone, it tells you, it speculates what it could be, right? So it said paw on the front. I'm like, what the hell's a paw? And then it literally says in the notes, I have your paw print, prick. Like, that's what it says. And I'm like, what the hell? So I had to answer that one. It was my vet. When we put my dog down last week, we made a paw from his hand. It's ready. So I was going to I have to pick up the paw at some point. Wow, that could have escalated really quickly. Okay. We're excited because there's nothing even close to the System 1. Yeah. If here's my honest opinion. At least this is me. Okay. I can't speak for everybody. And now my family's home, so they're going to get loud and I'm going to have to shut my door. Here is my opinion. If it were me and I owned a whole bunch of nightclubs, if it were me, I'd probably buy a shit ton of System 1s if they accepted one library, and I would have those in all of my areas. Why? Not because it's better than the CDJs or better than, a Rev 7 or something like that, but because it has the best of both worlds. It has moving platters. So if you're a turntable person, you can use those. If you want to turn off your moving platters and use them CDJ style, you can do that. It will accept all forms of media, including all of your streaming services and one library. You can just pop it in and go. Everybody wins off of that. That's what I would do. But who am I? I'm sure that's going to piss off somebody from, Pioneer. But I'm just being honest to as far as like, and I would say the same thing if Pioneer came out with a Rev 7 that was an all-in-one. I'd say the same thing. I'd be like, oh my God, they should have this in every system. Now, of course, you can't turn off the jogs on the Rev 7, which I truly believe that the next release, whenever they come out with whatever new Rev 7 they come out with, I have a feeling you'll be able to turn off the jogs. I do. I really do. Because it's a good feature, and you don't think about it until you absolutely need it. My partner had one malfunction on him on New Year's, and he was like, "Hey, how do I turn off the motors on the Rev 7?" I said, "You can't." And he's like, "I can't control anything now." So had he had a Rain 1 MK2 or a System 1, something like that, or a Rain 1, he could just turn off the motors and then just rock it old school. So there's a lot of reasons why some things are just potentially better than others. And as things grow and as new things come out, typically speaking, you're going to get things that are better than they were before. That's the whole part. That's the whole thing with coming out with new equipment, the evolution, So I'm I'm a fan of the System One. I think I think they knocked it out of the park. I think it's I think it is many, many years of going through these things and finally settling on what I gotta shut my door. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, I just truly believe that it's the best piece of gear that Rain has released. I was going to say forever, but that's not the case. But I'm going to say in many, many, many years. You know? And that's not a slight to Pioneer, because Pioneer is literally just, you know, coming out. They come out with great products all the time. So it's not a slight on Pioneer. It's just me showing appreciation for what Rain has done, how Rain has turned it around. If you remember Rain before the sell to End Music, and then you remember Rain after the sale to End Music, and you remember all the drama that was happening for several years, and now they finally like gotten to a point where they're like, I think we know who we are now, you know, and I appreciate that, you know. So, and it's so funny thinking that like Rain is an underdog in the situation, but they kind of are in this weird way. Anyway, okay. Thank you, Caesar. Thank you so much. We're surviving. We're surviving. Starting the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out. If you guys ever need any type of like, God, everything, you know, real time video streaming, place setting system, music request, like legitimately, if you've thought about anything with like DJing and third party stuff that you can do with your DJing, go to Estart. I hope I'm even pronouncing it right. That's how I pronounce it. Go to Estart. It's literally estart.com and take a look at all their offerings. Like it's really, really impressive. Like really impressive. Philip Tan in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm on for a couple more minutes and then I am going to bail. And then I got to figure out if Thursdays in general are going to work for me anymore. Thursdays have been kind of turning to shit. What's your thoughts on Mondays? What's your thoughts on Mondays? I got to figure it out. And if anybody's rewatching this later on, leave a comment. What's your thoughts? I thought Thursday was the perfect day. And now it's kind of getting weird. I mean, I guess I could do maybe Tuesday. Tuesday would work too. Maybe I flip it to Tuesday. Anyway, I got to see. I got to see what's going on. Okay, let's see. Any more questions for moi? But if James is still in the building, I know we talked about this earlier, so I said go back. But in general, if you are older and it's becoming an issue physically, don't hesitate to use a column array. Look, okay. I think one of the biggest problems with anybody telling anybody that column arrays are this or column arrays are that, or, you know, you should use this or you should use that is relative to the bookings they get. Okay. So like if all of your parties are backyard boogies or 100 people, 120 people, if that's all your parties are, a column array is going to work perfect for you. A 12-inch column array is going to work perfect for you. I don't have a problem with that. Know what your clientele is. But once you start getting up 150, 175, 200, 250. Once you start moving up, those column arrays are going to be very, very limited. So if you know that you do 100 to 150 people, you can stretch that column array like nobody's business. That's about as far that I will go with the column array. That's not like an Evolve 90 or even an Evolve 70. That's about as far as I'll go. And it's got to be a small room too. But anything bigger, larger, like for instance, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. So last Saturday, we had a LED wall and it was 300 people in a room. Okay. Normally for our LED walls, because they're usually like, I mean, they're different sizes, but like the average is like 200, 225. So I bring the Evolve 90s. They look really good with the wall. It's nice and clean and it just works. In this case, she was like, there's 300 people. I'm like, okay, those EV90s they're not going to sustain themselves on this party. And then I got to the room on Friday when we loaded early. So I loaded in a set of 90s and a set of 70s and loaded them in. When we got to the party, they had already piped and draped and like shrank the room. Anyway, so the dance floor, which again, to me, okay, I can only speak for me, is the qualifying piece to decide what speaker size you should get. How big is the dance floor? I know some people will say, how big is the room? How many people? Typically speaking, if you ask how many people, that'll tell you how big the room is. So if you tell me there's 200 people, I know for a fact you're going to at least have a 20 by 20 dance floor. Usually at 200 people, you're going to do like a 24 by 24. Okay. That's just normal. 300, you're usually going to do like a 30 by 30. Now, this case, the floor was like 20 by, it was like maybe 20 by 22. Like it wasn't very big for the amount of people that were at that party, but that's the way they wanted it. They wanted to make it more like a lounge furniture around the whole thing. No tables. Those EV90s worked just fine in that room. But if that room were deeper, I would have reinforced with the EV70s towards the back. So you have to know the clientele that you're with, that you're working with. That's something I can't tell you. That's why when people are like, well, what do you think about these? Well, I personally X or Y. But you have to take what I say and go, how does that apply to how I'm using them? But I'm also the same person that won't tell somebody, oh man, these RCF J11s, oh, these are great. Oh yeah, 200 people easily. No. That is a lie. And you're doing your party a disservice unless there's a noise ordinance. And you're doing the people asking you your opinion a disservice. Especially if they're your friends, man. Jeez. Don't lie to your friends. Okay, let's see here. Oh, good. I thought so. I wasn't sure. No coffee on Friday shows, but Thursday it was a must have for CT. Are you saying it's too early in the morning for you? Also, tripods are dangerous if there are old people around. I mean, maybe. You know what I mean? And first off, I use poles. My poles go into my speaker. I don't use tripods. I don't think that tripods look all that good. So I know people are like, bro, you're losing out on bass separation and blah, 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 blah by keeping them separate. Okay, so be it. Then I lose out on bass because it looks better this way than the subs being in the middle and then them sitting on, gravity stands or tripods. And that's just an opinion. That's just an opinion. Again, every time you DJ anywhere, if you're using column arrays, if you're using point source, it's all a series of compromises. It's all a series of compromises. You think that when you get to your party planner is not going to go, hey, by the way, I need you in the corner. Hey, by the way, you're set up there, but your speakers are over there. It's always a series of compromises. So I'd rather lose a little bass. I'd rather lose a little bass and have it look good and have the party planner happy about what it is that I do and keeps bringing me back. When older, I feel you have to change the demographics you serve. No shame in that. I mean, maybe. How old is old? At what point do you start playing for young people because you're too old? Is it because you've disconnected from the music? From the trends? Like, and I don't mean like, oh, I go to the websites and I go to the top 40 of what play. I'm not talking about that bullshit because that's bullshit. Okay. Any DJ that says I just go to the top 40 of the sites does not know the music. Does not know the music. And you're not going to do as well on those events. But if you're still heavily invested in that culture, in what it is you're doing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being older and still playing, that whatever music you're playing, if you still have a love for it. Like it's the same thing with like hip hop, where they're like, hip hop people, you're too old to rap. Why? Why are hip hop people the only music category that isn't allowed to keep making music past like 35, 40 years old? Why is that? Why do we just like shut down older people in their 45s and 50s and 60s that grew up on hip hop? They don't want to listen to hip hop they grew up with. They don't want to listen to their artists. If Rolling Stones can keep making music, if Aerosmith can keep making music, if Kiss can keep making music, why can't our generation of hip hop, why can't they keep making music? You know what I'm saying? Rain is great. The problem is alpha theta dominance. Yeah, because a lot of producers decide what the industry standard is. No. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just saying that like, if somebody was like, if they had one library in the system one, and somebody was like, we half our people want turntables and half the people want CDJs. We need a solution for this. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. Or if you're at a bar and you're like, I need something. If they had the one library, it wouldn't be an issue. I mean, they haven't yet. So yes, you still need to use CDJs and stuff like that and all-in-ones, because of it. But I'm just saying, I feel like Rain is missing an opportunity if they opt to not join one library. They're missing an opportunity, just in my opinion. I don't forget it. Guys, 18 years, 400 plus parties a year. Like, I don't forget it. I just know for a fact that if your speakers are being eaten up by the sound, I'd rather just bring bigger speakers, and just compensate for that. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Culinary price, EV, $33.99, fair price, or wait for a lower price? I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, if that's what the market is across the board, I doubt they're going to go lower. You might be able to find something on during like the holidays, they always do prices, or maybe get a refurb. They went out for a minute, came back in. Now they're $500 cheaper, but they're still a hot selling ticket because they're really good. People want to talk trash about them or feel they're not three-way and blah, blah, blah. They still sound good. Yeah, but do they sound good or do they not sound good? Like, don't look at the tech specs. Use your ears. Do they sound good? Okay, they do. That's it. That's it. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong. There's definitely a stigma associated with using things outside. I mean, Jesus, I use DJ and people are just like, oh, that's not Serato? No, it's not Serato. It's DJ. Okay. I made a joke about virtual DJ on some reels, and people started giving me shit. Bro, how can you say that? I'm like, because I'm not like, I don't place my identity around any DJ gear. Okay? I don't place my identity on that. If you're using Serato, if you're using Virtual DJ, if you're using Rekordbox, I give Warren Peace from DMS shit every time I see him because he is a Rekordbox lover, like a diehard. That's his choice. You know, right now I'm using DJ. But like, I say this, I'm using DJ, but let's just say, and DJ has a lot of points that like nobody else is doing. You can't use an iPad on anything but DJ. You can't use your phone on anything but DJ. They already have like an instant win. But I'm never gonna, but Serato's Crate Search, bro. Crate Search is the best thing that I've seen in a long time. I think if I were to put some of the best additions to software that have come out in the last like 5 years, Crate Search would be one. A second would be adjustable beat grids that DJ does. Because there's nothing like it on the planet. Once you start using the adjustable beat grids, and I don't use it on every song, mind you, I don't. Because it can bite you in the ass if your beat grids are off. Like it can make you look stupid when your beat grids are off. Okay. Like if your beat grids are off and then you have it queued up, right? You have it queued up and you drop it on the one. If your beat grids are off and you're using those adjustable beat grids, specifically if you're using sync and you do that adjustable beat grid, that jump back one beat will make you look stupid. So I don't use it for everything. Okay. I use it for mostly when I'm doing like old music. And the fact that I don't think about if I have to ride the pitch, if I have to ride the jogs on old music because it's just self-adjusting. That's one of the best inventions ever. One of the best inventions ever. And then Crate Search. Well, stems, adjustable beat grids, and then Crate Search. Somewhere in that order. All right. A couple more, then I'm going to get out of here. Okay. This is a very interesting statement. Lou, welcome. Good to see you, man. And I don't disagree with this. Brain System 1 users are going to get head fatigue because they have to keep their head down all night long to scroll through music. I think that's just a bad posture to DJ with. Okay. So I'm on board with this. I don't disagree. There's been a couple times that I've been using it and like I said, I haven't been using it for 4 or 5 hours. And that's why I need to take it out. You know, it's one thing to DJ with it for a half hour, an hour on a daily, but like I remember DJing going, I wonder how this is going to feel in 2 to 3 hours. Like I literally thought that. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's why I'm saying the fact that it will work with DJ and Serato, it still doesn't change the fact that it's still the best hardware that has been released to date. Been the best hardware, the best thought out hardware to date. So even if like you're getting neck fatigue, and I don't even care about that as much as I care about the backup. But if you're getting neck fatigue, you can always go back to your PC or your Mac and run it off of DJ, run it off of Serato. But I don't disagree with you. We're going to have to wait and see on that. Is one library free to join? I believe it is free to join. When Rekordbox Alpha Theta in combination with, what was it? It was Serato, DJ, Traktor, and Rekordbox. And they all, it's like a coalition that they all kind of created. Engine in music did not want to at the time. I'm hoping it'll change. All right. Do you have any suggestions for rooms with really bad acoustics? You have a lot of experience and I'm still pretty new. Acoustics are acoustics. Nothing you can do about that. If the room sucks, the room sucks. That's just life, you know? It is what it is. Some are better than others. I meant when you're older, you have a hard time carrying the big 18 subwoofers. Do you? Or should you just work out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be the gym bro, but like ever since I started going back to the gym consistently, nothing bothers me. Nothing bothers me. Now, I'm not 60 years old. I'm not 70 years old, but like, you know, nothing bothers me and I still don't want to bring heavy ass equipment if I don't need to. Like any chance I get to bring a column array, I'm bringing it. I am bringing it, not even thinking about it. So, laid back Luke, I don't know exactly why he jumped so extremely. I don't know, laid back Luke. I don't know if there was like, look, okay. If somebody said to me, hey man, is there a piece of hardware we can make for you? We'll make it any way you want it. I would 100% jump on that. But I also believe that once if you're traveling like him and doing all the things, he was probably running into issues, just trying to make everything work, dealing with engineers and tech guys and all that stuff. So, and who knows if the money wasn't better? I don't know. This is all speculation. You can call me Candace Owens right now. I don't know. But when you make a jump that big, usually there's money involved. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. All right. A couple more. We'll go till 3:30 will be the end. Rain should join one library. That would be great. It's a win-win. I agree. People like what they like and it can be hard to switch. Yep. Laid back Luke is an equal opportunity advertiser. Ben Griffey in the building. What's going on? I think a lot of people would switch from Rekordbox to more stable program because of one library. Rekordbox is very buggy and is the only software that gets weekly updates. Are we talking about Rekordbox in like CDJs or like Rekordbox software specifically? Oh, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming, Lou. I was waiting for somebody to say it. If you need a search option for your crates, you're bringing way too much music to your gigs. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree, but everybody has a specific way of categorizing their music. Okay? Like everybody does. So I'm not saying there's too much music, but like, let's say you put music. Okay. For instance, I'm not going to put every hip hop song known to man in a hip hop folder. Okay. Or if it is in a hip hop folder, it's a catch-all. But if I'm just looking for references where I need to just grab, what song works for this, what song works for that, I'm not going to go through my trough of hip hop. So I'll have like, a check 1, 2 crate where I have kids hip hop. I got adult hip hop, but when I'm at a club, I'm playing club hip hop. It's completely different than the folders that I'm using for my private events, or if I'm doing, a Afrobeats party, if I'm doing an EDM, they're just different. So there's just more folders, and the more places you do, you also want to keep folders for those spots too, for those residencies, for those one-offs, just so you can kind of refer to them later on. But I don't disagree with what you're saying. I do have too much music in general, and I'm low on the barrel compared to what I've seen from a lot of people out there. But I get what you're saying. I agree. However, like sometimes a folder just ends up in another folder and I can't find it. No matter if I had, a certain amount of folders or a lot of folders. But like if I can type in Indian and then my Indian folder pops up because I have a whole bunch of Indians in front of me that I don't typically have in front of me, that's going to make my life easier. So I don't agree. I don't disagree. But I'm saying there are caveats to it. Oh my, in the building, what's going on? I saw somebody put an 8 terabyte system. I think B-Boy did. B-Boy Mac put an 8 terabyte system in their Rain 1. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't truly believe you need more than a 2 terabyte hard drive in your Rain 1. And you'll get everything you need. I feel like I have a 256 gigabyte card right now in my System 1. And I still have space. I haven't stemmed everything. So when I stem it, I'm probably going to need somewhere around 400 gigs when I stem it, maybe 5. So I will get a 1 terabyte drive, whether it be a USB, because I have a 1 terabyte right now from the SanDisk that I have, but I also have, and this is my problem. So I have one SanDisk that has my entire one library on it from a DJ export, but I can't use it in my System 1. So I have to make another one. So I have to buy another SanDisk because I love the speed of the SanDisk to go there. All right, Maestro DMX 1.5, amazing, good work to my team at Limbic. I got to go check it out. Now has ArtNet. Very cool. Very cool. What do you do to organize theme that way? I like, oh, hold on. Where'd it go? What do you do to organize theme that way? I like that idea. I agree with it. Everybody's different. This is how I've always organized my crates. So everybody's different. But like I have main crates, but then I have crates below. If I'm working on a set, if I'm working on a performance for somebody, then yes, I will absolutely make a crate for that. And I won't delete that crate afterwards, especially if it's a good set. So like, there's just like a whole bunch of sets. That's all that really is. A whole bunch of sets that I keep. Word plays, I keep them together. You know what I mean? It's just the way I work. Coyote, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Is that considered advertising? Okay, a couple more. I don't think you need an 8 terabyte SSD at all unless you're a VDJ. Yes, agreed. And even then, I have a VDJ computer for all of my stuff. It's 4 terabytes. I still have like a terabyte and a half. So I don't even think you need it for that, because same concept as what Lou was saying. You could end up with just a whole bunch of files that you'll never use. Get rid of them. If you're never going to use them, just delete them. They just take up space. All right. DJ Scal says, jump in a bit late, but quick question. Did you experience to have more power when you plug a mono XLR cable in the stereo in of a Maui 44 with a Y cable? If you're talking about running dual monos out of your 44, it's going to be louder because you're essentially doubling your mono signal. If that's what you're asking. It would be a really great answer for that one though, Lou. I'm sure Lou has done every single thing when it comes to that. Do you use smart crates? Yes and no. I use smart crates to a point. To be honest with you, I was really getting annoyed with smart crates. First off, everybody does smart crates differently. And so the way I jump around, it doesn't work as well for me. Like I'm on Serato. Now I'm on DJ. Now I'm on so it doesn't really work as well for me. But like, I do remember Serato at one time, I had a couple of smart crates and it was bottlenecking. It was taking too long to populate my smart crates. So I'm like, okay, I can't use this anymore. So everybody's different. Would you still switch between Rain system and Rev 7? In what capacity are you asking that? Are you asking me if I need to choose one or the other? Because I use them both all the time. They're both really good controllers. And if I go out and somebody's like, hey, what do you need for your rider? Since I do a lot of traveling, you know, I'm like, there's one guy in Colorado that this party planner books us all the time for. And he was the first time he brought me an SX2. And I was like, okay, I can't. I'm not going back this far. And then he says, well, I can get something for you. I said, get a Rev 7. Because I know that every one of my guys will use a Rev 7 without even thinking twice about it. You know, besides that, Flex 10. They'll use a Flex 10 also, you know? So for that kind of stuff, absolutely. And I know that he's going to be able to rent that out to other people later on. So I don't have a problem with either one of them. Now, having said that, which I said earlier, the System 1 will be my main hardware for the foreseeable future. I don't have a reason to not, unless it fails me horribly on an event or something like that. I don't have a reason to not use it. So there's that. My next bar club gig, you know what? I haven't even like set anything up. What is it? February. So I feel like my next gig, if I call my guy, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm ready to DJ again. Probably won't be until late March or April. Everybody usually books out like 2 months in advance for anything. So there's a couple that I want to set up for the summer too. So yeah, sometime soon. I mean, I just was in Vegas last month, so we'll see. Please stop asking me about the System 1. You can't just get in here 2 hours later and say, what are your thoughts on the System 1? What are the odds that you are one of like 15 people that have asked about the System 1 today? So yes, I've talked about the System 1. If you go back and watch, we've had multiple conversations about In Music, about Rain, about Pioneer, about Algorithm. We've done it all. And I'm totally waiting. You know, it's funny. The speed that Algorithm works, the speed that they work, it must be complicated to like make that crate search happen. Because the moment the crate search happened and then Algorithm came out, and then I'm texting Angela like, crate search. That can't be that hard to add. Crate search can't be that hard to add. Then they came out with one library. I'm like, cool, one library. This is great. Now crate search. And then nothing. It's been months. So it must be a more complicated thing than I thought it would be, in all honesty, because they're pretty quick about like coming out with things. So I don't know. In a perfect world, Cross 12, S11, standalone controller. No, I don't agree. It's too big. It's too big. Have you lifted up a Cross 12? Like, honestly, because you guys sometimes say some things without really like thinking about how heavy that would be. 2 Cross 12s and an S11 would be painful. And I hope to God they never come out with it. Hercules barely came out with a 10-inch platter. Guys, I gotta call bullshit. Okay? All right? Hercules came out with a belt-driven 10-inch platter. That is not the same as a motorized, driven, a 10-inch controller. It is not the same. And it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a nice little cool to have thing. That's not going to be the end all. The same way the T7 was. T7 was a cool little fun little piece of equipment. But it's not, guys. Come on. You can't compare the two. Please stop. Stop doing that. I did not see the Wolf Mix Wing, but I'm going to check that out right now. All right, let's take a look here. Okay. 5 years ago, blah, blah, blah. This year we're bringing out the same philosophy and the Wolf Mix wing built around the familiar Wolf Mix flow. Expands possibilities with tools determined by modern stage lighting. I love that because that's been one of my issues with it. Hold on, let me just go bigger so you don't need to see anything else. And let me bring myself up. There we go. Okay. At its core, the wing brings 8 motorized faders with LED light up guides, 8 OLED screens, a main dimmer, and a powerful new Q list mode for structure. I'm not even going to show you right now. I want to see. For structured playback, triggered via a dedicated go button, or automatically using custom fades and hold timing. It also unlocks up to 4 additional DMX universes and adds subgroups. Oh, love that. For larger rigs, and introduces a hands-on control mode alongside a fully customizable mapping mode, making the wing powerful extension built for expressiveness. Okay, here we go. This is exactly what I fucking wanted. That is exactly what I wanted. I was you think I'm kidding? I said, hold on, let me just do this. Okay. I just said, like 4 days ago, that what I wanted was a Wolf Mix, like so, and then give me either this together, side by side, right? Side by side. This is an APC Mini. Or, in a perfect world, give me this, the APC 40. This is what I asked for. This is what I wanted. That is what this is. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm like, I need to be able to control more stuff at any given time, especially when I'm doing a crap ton of movers, and then I got to break out the up lights, and I got to break out the dance lights, and I want to be able to control everything, and I'm tired of switching banks. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You understand how much you just made my day? You understand? Oh, I don't care that it's 22 wide. This is what I wanted. Because I think people need to understand. Because I think a lot of people are like, okay, because there's a lot of great programs out there, Wolf Mix, what's the other one? Oh, why am I drawing a blank right now? Anyway, there's a lot of great programs out there. We were just talking about one earlier. We were talking about the one with like engine and engine lighting and sound switch, all that stuff. Okay, we're talking about all of that. And those are all great. Those are all great if you are doing very, not even basic. You can do some complicated things, Maestro, thank you. You can do some complicated things with all of them. But as soon as you have way too many fixtures, like for me, let's say I got 8 moving fixtures in the top. I got up lights around the room. I got lights on the stage. I got lights on the bars and all that stuff. I got a main light for speeches. Like all of these things, right? Start to get harder with just using the single box. And I wouldn't even think about this with a Maestro, as good as it is. That's really it does some great things, but it's like there's certain things that I just don't assume that they're going to be able to. Sound switch, same concept. They're very close to like this, but like they've given you more real-time controls lately, which has been great. But like this, just with the visual feedback and everything, and not having to run it with anything, like this is what it was. This is what I needed. This is best for me from a production standpoint, not necessarily from a DJ standpoint. And I think people need to understand the difference. You know what I mean? Like the difference between the two. I'm not against any of them, but where the more you start diving into production, the more certain things just don't work for you anymore. That's it. That's all. I mean, it would be the same thing if somebody bought a KC12 or a J11 and they're like, oh my God, I love the speaker. And I'm like, yeah, it's a really good speaker. You know, you got 75 people, you're good. As soon as you get to 100, 130, 150, now you're like, you know what? It's doing what I needed to do, but it's not as good as it used to be when I was DJing for like 40 people, 60 people. Now, okay, now I got to bring in a sub. Okay, now I got to bring in a sub. Okay, great. Now I got to bring in another one. Okay, well, I'm bringing all these extra speakers. Why don't I just get some bigger speakers? Because every time I bring in a column array and a sub, that's more space in the vehicle that I have to account for, right? So I got to do it anyway. So if I'm going to do that anyway, why don't I just buy bigger speakers? And now I can do these parties for this one. That's what this is for me. This is it for me. And it looks like it's separate. It looks like you can just buy the wing on its own, which, oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. And this is the WMX3. Comes with the, okay. So they went USB-C and USB-A. I hope to God, the one thing I hope to God they don't do, they better not make this wing, this Wolf Mix right here, connection USB-C only in order to get you to upgrade. They better not do that. I have the WMX2. It should work with the standard USB-A also. Oh, if they do that, I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to lose my shit. I know that, so this one comes out April 2026. This one just comes out later in 2026. And of course, we're not going to show you the backside. Hold on, there's a walkthrough. I'm going to mute out the music. And let's go to it. Hold on. Okay, so we're obviously we're gonna mute it out because we don't know about copyright stuff. All right, so let's see. I know he's saying A. I can hear it though. Gunmetal. It's great. It's the same stuff as the two. All right, here we go. Hardware extension. All right, I'm sorry. I got to go back 1 second. Okay, it just said W1. Okay. Ooh. That's amazing. You did see that USB-C out though. So let's hope that they don't try to screw anybody. Oh, I'm in love. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. And it powers a W1. Oh, God. Okay. Yep, USB power delivery. wow, this is a full on like. But can you switch to the? I want to know if you can switch to. Get off the screen. Oh, he's just showing me. I want to know if you can switch to your live edits because I want my live edits to be up here a lot of the time. Subgroups are amazing. Okay, look, we could watch this all day long, and it's good. It's good, and I will be owning one. It's good. God, that's impressive. Okay. You could buy a wing on its own. It is separated and it's going to open up a lot of, yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is what I wanted. So what I was saying was where I am right now in production wise, it was going from this to a console. And I was like, I don't necessarily want to have to bring a console. Why can't they just come out with a larger version of the WMX that has its own faders, that has more buttons, so I can use like my live edits and all that stuff on its own buttons, not have to think about it. And they've just done it. So I still use this for Arena Avenue. This is my video board. If you've probably seen it on my Instagram. Okay. Anyway, hey everybody, I've been on here for a long time. I want to go. Still got to go to the gym. Still got to go. Yeah, the moving faders are rad. Even though I'm like, that's kind of gimmicky. You know, it's like anytime when I used to do music and I go to like professional studios, they'd have them doing the. I'm just like, it's still a gimmick, and that's just one more part that can break. You know what I mean? But it does look cool doing it. It does look cool when they all just snap to position. I can't lie. Anyway, did you know that the Wolf Mix is the brainchild of the developers of Light Rider MyDMX Go? It's basically running an advanced version. Well, that would explain why I like it so much, because I honestly believed that MyDMX Go, more when it's Light Rider, was the single best, easy to use software for running movers. Not for everything, but for running movers, it just did it and it worked well. Biggest problem with with Light Rider wasn't the software. It was getting a proper DMX out to run it. That was the worst part of it all, because you had to use, like, at that time, it was really just like a couple of them, like ADJ. They had a USB wireless that you could go out of your or wirelessly connect to your iPad. It would disconnect all the time. It was a nightmare. Guys are killing me with all this stuff, man. You guys are killing me with all this stuff. Hold on, let me send this to my partner because he's gonna want to see this. Anyway, I'm buying that on an instant. That is an easy take my money. All right, now the other one we're talking about is the Insta 360 Luna. Okay. I wish they'd come out with the Insta 360 microphone that was actually good. Let's start with the basics. Okay. So it looks very much, I'm trying to get to a picture that is come on, YouTube video. Announced yesterday. Yeah, it looks like the new Pocket 3 that they were touting that was coming out. You just show it to me. Okay, you're going to be one of those guys. I don't want to see your face. Nobody cares about your face. Okay, we knew that was a DJI. Show me the other one. Anyway, that's still the Osmo. So it's going to be a hybrid that's going to be able to swap over to other things. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Huh. Well, seems okay. I mean, at this point in time, though, everything's too damn expensive. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't know. Anyway, I've been pretty happy with the Insta360 now that it has the gimbal mode from the update. So, anyway, motorized faders are a thing in the DJ gear. Okay. All right. Anyway, all right, guys. Wow, this has been a good show, even on a Friday. So thanks for hanging out today. What time did I start? 1:15, give or take. So you had a good show. You guys got a good show out of me. Make sure you guys hit the like on the way out. And if I may post on what happens over the weekend, I may not. We'll see. But hopefully you guys have great parties this weekend. And if you are staying at home with your lovely partner, enjoy Valentine's Day. And we'll see you next week. I just don't know exactly when just now. You might get a Monday. I got to see what's going on with I got to see what's going on. We're supposed to be getting another dog. So anyway, if you cannot move with the wing. All right, y'all. I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. We'll talk soon. Peace out. If I can find my phone.